In the fabled land of Northern California, nestled in the Valley of Sacramento, two friends begin a journey to enlighten the world about their experience living life as a Xennial. But what is a Xennial, you may ask? If you wish to know, then follow them on their adventures.
And welcome to the Xennial Chronicles. This is James.
This is Mike.
How y'all doing today? We're actually recording this on Memorial Day. So kind of a little moment of observance for those who have died in combat, since that is what it's supposed to be celebrating today.
That's exactly what it is.
It's not Veterans Day where you thank people for their service. It is literally about people who have actually lost their lives defending our country.
Yeah.
And so just one of those little, what's the word I'm looking for here? Manners things.
A lot of people tend to turn around and thank veterans for Memorial Day, and as
they ain't dead yet.
Good.
They're alive.
They're still alive.
They're not supposed to be the ones you are thanking on this day.
No, you thank the ones who passed, man. So
yeah, and you remembered some. I can say I personally don't have anybody I know that passed and that died while in service, while in combat, while serving the country.
Yeah, not. I personally don't either. I have many friends who served, and so this is in observance of their fallen comrades.
Yeah, and
for sure. And so I do have a lot of respect for that, and in any other situation, I would go straight to them, but I can't.
No, and I know we share at least one friend.
Yes.
We share at least one friend that I know has had people that have fallen while he was in and since then.
Yes.
And that's I think that's one of the things that bothers me most about today.
Yeah.
Is that for a big swath of America, this is a weekend about barbecuing and going to the lake and doing those type of things, and it's a solemn observance.
It is
of people that have defended our country, that have made that commitment and then that sacrifice. Yeah, and it's not for barbecues. It's for remembering people that gave whatever they could.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you get, and not to say that there's anything particularly wrong with that personally. I think that if you get together with family and possibly in remembrance of maybe family members and friends who did serve, who may have given that sacrifice and been able to do that, and or at least if you're able to do that and observe that just in remembrance of them, I think that's absolutely appropriate, and I hope that that's what most people are considering and thinking about when they do this.
Hopefully it is. It is. But anyway, segueing on, today we're going to talk about a very American subject.
And what is that, sir?
And the reason it's very American is the way we see this product. It's a product. The way we see this product today, the way that it exists today, was created here in America.
Apple pie.
No, apple pie is not American. It's actually German.
Damn it. Oh, well, okay.
No, this is the American thing.
Man, you mean that I've been lied to my whole life hearing the term as American as apple pie?
Oh, you've been lied to about so many things. So.
Oh, man.
But the thing we're talking about today?
Yes.
Breakfast cereal.
So breakfast cereal was invented in the States,
Breakfast cereal as we know it today.
I'll be damned.
Like in the boxes, in the cereal aisle. American origins. Now, things like oatmeal, porridge, things like that,
right?
European origins. But breakfast cereal, as we see, the boxes of breakfast cereal, General Mills, Post, and the one we're going to be touching on today, the originator of American breakfast cereal.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Kellogg's.
They originated breakfast cereal.
Kellogg's is the originator of American breakfast cereal, the way we see cereal today.
Wow.
Again, all those boxes in that aisle,
yeah,
that's based on
their fault.
What happened with Dr. John Harvey Kellogg and his brother, William Keith Kellogg. Like you've seen the W.K. Kellogg signature
yeah.
That's a real person, William Keith Kellogg.
Is he still alive?
Oh, no. God, they've been dead for a long time.
Oh, okay. I kind of figured.
It was around the turn of 1900 is when
Was it from sugar overdose from breakfast cereal?
Actually, breakfast cereal didn't originally have sugar in it. That's what we're going to learn about today.
Oh, boy. Okay, this is going to be great.
So, here's some starts of the origin of American breakfast cereal. And again, this is kind of a truncated version. I'm only giving some basic highlights of the history. I'm not going full in depth.
Legit.
But what we have here is we have Dr. John Harvey Kellogg.
Okay.
Who was an actual doctor. And he was part of kind of a couple of different waves of healthy, clean living ideologies that went through the Americas in the late 1800s, early 1900s.
Right.
Well, he partnered himself up with the Seventh-day Adventist Church, which at the time was kind of an up-and-coming American church.
Right.
By the way, Seventh-day Adventists and the Church of Latter-day Saints
Yes.
are for the most part American homegrown versions of religion.
Yes.
Just some interesting side note for anybody that wants to do any research. Those two specific religious faiths have their origins and roots in America
yes.
from other belief systems. But anyway, he was partnered with the Seventh-day Adventist Church, who was also trying to get this kind of healthy living. And part of the clean and healthy living had to do with diet. Diet being one of the most important points of it. Interestingly, Dr. Kellogg was really ahead of his time when it came to his understanding of healthy gut bacteria and how that can affect so many other parts of your body.
Oh man, I'm liking where this is going already.
But the science wasn't behind him at that time period. Science has now given evidence that many things in gut bacteria can affect many other things. In fact, they've been doing research on depression.
Yes.
With gut bacteria issues. They've been doing research on, of all things, autism and gut bacteria issues.
So this is the guy, is he the guy that essentially started the hypothesis that gut bacteria was related to these other
No, he
health
thought
issues?
he thought that his thing was that gut bacteria may have an effect on the body.
Okay.
But he was actually more concerned with people being addicts, specifically addicted to tobacco, alcohol, and
He had a concern with that?
well, yes, but
What year about was this?
This
Do you
is
know?
again late 1800s, early 1900s.
Wow, okay.
But the thing is, he had no science to back him up.
Right, but he was
his-
just like, maybe this is related. Like he was
Well,
just starting to see
no,
like certain data was correlating because he was a doctor,
No, it wasn't
right?
no data. Here's the thing. He was a doctor, but he was a rather prudish religious man.
Right.
And so at the time, there was no evidence whatsoever scientifically that alcoholism or
Right.
smoking, alcoholism didn't even exist as a term.
Right.
People just drank
Yeah, there were just
and people just smoked.
there were just drunks and smokers. Well, they knew that things like, tuberculosis was related, right?
Well, tuberculosis isn't. Tuberculosis is an actual disease that you get. Has nothing to do with smoking.
Oh, really?
TB has nothing to do with smoking. It's an actual disease that you can get from other people.
Oh,
Yeah,
I didn't know it was that
I
kind of
think it's viral.
contagious.
I think it's a viral thing. Oh, TB is super.
I did not
contagious.
know that. Yeah, I've
Super
never.
contagious.
Yeah, I've never looked into it.
Yeah, that's why there are certain foreign countries that if you go to and spend time in, you need to get TB tested when you come back to the United States.
Wow.
That's why TB testing in California is a big deal, because there is a lot of there's unregulated people. I wouldn't say unregulated. It's the wrong word to use and very politically charged nowadays. There are people that have there is poor health education and workings in Mexico when it comes to tuberculosis, and tuberculosis in Central America is a big deal. People get it a lot.
So, do you get tested for TB if you head to Cancun?
You should be. I would say
Wow.
when you come back, you should be. They require it for most schooling nowadays at either 7th, 8th, or 9th grade. They require kids get tested for TB, especially in the state of California, because we do have a large population of either migrants, immigrants, or people with family in Mexico, which is a country that has TB that runs, I wouldn't say rampant, but heavy amounts of TB in those countries.
Let me make sure that I'm proper on this, because I'm not researching anything. This is just a guess. Tuberculosis is a lung disease. Is that correct?
Yes, it is a lung
so it
disease.
is the lung disease. Like I'm trying to think of like I'm honestly like associating with one thing or another. So around the late 1800s, you're looking at like, I'm honestly referencing
Holliday.
the movie. Yeah. Tombstone.
Doc
Holliday
Holliday,
was they called him a lunger.
They called him
and
a
they
lunger,
figured
yeah,
that they
TB.
thought it was, smoking and drinking and all that
The smoking
stuff.
and actually he didn't.
It was theoretical. They thought he did it to himself.
He wasn't a heavy smoker or drinker.
He wasn't.
Before he got tuberculosis, before he was diagnosed with tuberculosis.
Oh, then he started because he was just like,
He just didn't
forget
care
it. I'm
anymore.
just going to die. Why
He was
not?
a dentist. You know that? Doc Holliday was an actual dentist.
That makes sense. I mean, his name was Doc. I don't think that was
No, he was an actual dentist, and he came out to Arizona to actually came out to the West, not specifically Arizona, but he came out to the West, hoping that the drier climate would be better for his tuberculosis.
Yes.
And then he drank and smoked because he was going to die anyway. But anyway, we're diverging from.
Yeah, totally. No, I'm super fascinated by it because this guy's around the same time period.
And the thing is, roughly around the same time period, yeah. And the thing is, there was no scientific basis for his feelings about the gut bacteria situation.
Yeah.
What the basis was his set of morals that because of his, he was at the time he was a deeply religious man, part of the Seventh-day Advent Church.
Right.
So he believed that drinking was wrong and smoking was wrong.
Okay.
And the other thing that he thought gut bacteria was connected to.
Diet?
No. What's the right way to word this? Sexual promiscuity was wrong.
Oh,
and he
well, that makes sense, doesn't it?
He thought that bad gut bacteria from the food that we ate created all of these conditions. And so what he was trying to do is...
Wait, that bad gut bacteria created sexual promiscuity?
Yes.
Oh, I thought he was...
No, all of these
I thought he was thinking backwards, like bad gut or like sexual promiscuity created bad gut bacteria.
No, all these things created all these... The bad diet that people were eating was messing with their gut bacteria.
And it was making them psychologically and physically all messed up.
Yeah, do all these horrible things, become addicts of drinking, becomes addicts of smoking, become addicts of sex.
Wow. Okay. So as far as the basics of the theory, as far as gut bacteria being possibly tied to mental health.
No, actually, this is not real theory. This is just, I don't like these things, and I'm going to try to find a way to get people not doing it. Guess what? You're eating the wrong food, and your gut bacteria is making you do these terrible things. If you eat the right food and have a properly well diet, you won't have these problems. You won't be sexually promiscuous anymore.
So this guy was a doctor, though.
Yes.
This guy created breakfast cereal in order to curb sexual promiscuity?
Let me get there.
All right.
Okay.
Well, I mean, you just said it, and now I'm super weirded out.
With the Seventh-day Advent Church...
Here I am thinking the guy was actually smart.
With this Seventh-day Advent Church, he created, in Battle Creek, Michigan, the Battle Creek Sanitarium.
Okay.
Now, this was not a sanitarium where they actually brought in people that were legitimately mentally ill. This is where rich people came, paid money. It was more of a health spa than it was anything else. They had a vegetarian diet because that would be promoting better gut bacteria.
Right.
They had them eat food that was bland because any food that had any real flavor would inflame your sexual passions. Most specifically, Kellogg had a problem with masturbation.
I heard about I've heard this theory before.
This is not a theory. Kellogg had a problem with masturbation. Kellogg thought it was basically the most disgusting thing you could possibly do. This was sexual perversion at its height, masturbation. And interestingly enough, not women masturbating, because back then many people wouldn't accept the idea of women masturbating. In fact, doctors back then,
they would use masturbation in order to curb like emotional distress.
Well, yeah, doctors would actually use.
They would literally make to
masturbate women to try to calm their.
This got really like.
Well, and actually,
this whole conversation got really weird.
So the first women's.
I hope people aren't listening to this one with their kids because this is weird.
Well, no, we're not saying anything that's dirty yet. But I will say the first vibration items that women could use for their own personal pleasure were created by doctors to try to curb women's emotional distress by using it on them. But women's
it was for doctor usage, though. That was I remembered that was the case. It's honestly, it's like the most selfish thing. Yeah,
that's a whole different podcast.
Just let's move on, dude. Let's move on.
John Harvey Kellogg, his issue was with male. His issue was with male masturbation. He thought it was a disgusting, perverted thing. And
he realized that circumcision wasn't solving the problem?
They did that.
Yeah, I know that
didn't work.
That was the reason.
So the other thing that they tried to do was give them as bland a diet as possible because he felt that a bland diet would right the gut bacteria and would not inflame the passions of these men and boys to want to do those things to themselves. It would curb their sexual appetite.
That is insane.
They went through they went through multiple breakfast foods.
You're ruining cereal for me, man.
Hold on. Well, I may be, but They went through multiple breakfast foods to try to figure out something that was still healthy for them to eat. Vegetarian, of course, had to be vegetarian, but also was as bland as possible. Well, which would mean no sugar.
The
involved.
wheels are coming together. The wheels are starting to turn, and like things are coming together. It makes sense.
So
they had a basis of a lot of these cereals that you're seeing now.
Well, they had made a corn kind of gruel. Kind of gruely, gruel like an oatmeal that people didn't like.
Well, yeah. Well, first off, it's called corn gruel.
Yeah, it sounds disgusting. What ended up happening was
that sounds appealing.
The story differs as to whether some of it ended up on a pan and dried out, or whether it ended up on a stovetop and dried out. Either way, somebody took the dried out version of this gruel, kind of chipped it off into pieces. I know it sounds terrible, but this is.
Well, I understand this is the basis for cornflakes. I get it, but at the same time to call it that.
And they literally got the basis for cornflakes.
Yeah. It sounds like that.
The problem came from people started at the sanitarium actually started to like this. So they started to make more of it in this manner. Of course, in a more refined manner once they figured out how to do it. I think they probably baked it at that point to get it to the consistency. Put it on a pan, bake it, and then break it into pieces.
I'm still like losing my mind on this. Is great. Just the term corn gruel.
Here's the fun part. Dr. John Kellogg, his brother, William Keith Kellogg, saw the potential with people liking this new cereal thing so much. He saw the potential to sell this.
Okay.
As opposed to just offer it at the SAN.
Did he box it and call it corn gruel?
No. They did eventually call it cornflakes.
Yeah.
But
were there other names? Maybe?
I don't know if there were any other names that were thrown around.
I would love to. That needs to be a sketch, I swear.
Okay, which one? Here, we'll work on it. Which one do you want to be?
Badly named breakfast cereals.
Which one do you want to be? Do you want to be John Harvey? Or do you want me to be? Do you want me to be John Harvey? We'll work on a sketch for it. We'll come up with the worst possible names.
I think I might be John Harvey. It's just I could say all the crazy stuff.
You're gonna be the one who hates perverts but is secretly a pervert. I'm good for that.
I like. Anyway, I'm down. I'm for it.
But anyway, William decided he was going to try to mass market this. This ended up causing a major rift between the brothers because John Harvey just wanted to push his agenda of wellness. And in fact, there's been many movies made about this. Road to Wellness with Anthony Hopkins and I think Matthew Broderick. I think Hopkins actually plays John Harvey Kellogg in the movie. But
wow.
Yeah, there's been many movies made about the SAN. The SAN, I mean, this is a historical place that existed in Battle Creek, Michigan. In fact, Battle Creek is still where they have the Kellogg's processing plant.
Right.
And so William Keith Kellogg, he's the one who started selling it and mass producing it. And within a couple of years, they were producing huge amounts and had to literally start the full mass production. This was really the start of American breakfast cereal with cornflakes.
Wow.
It's kind of the initiator of this. And you see much of a rise of it, especially when you get through after you get through the Depression, you see a rise in this with the wartime and the post-war time, the family booms.
Wow.
This became something that was something for kids to eat, obviously, because, Dad still got his bacon and eggs, which was, by the way, bacon and eggs, targeted marketing campaign. Bacon used to be considered the garbage meat of the pig. But a targeted marketing campaign in the 1950s.
How wrong humans have been for so long.
Hey, a targeted campaign in the 1950s actually made bacon seem like it was a necessary breakfast item and a breakfast staple, even though it's just basically tasty fat. It was literally. Well, hey, then just another little sidebar here.
Right.
If you imagine yourself back before you were married, okay, let's say you're taking a girl out to a really nice dinner. Okay,
I was very poor, so that pretty much never happened. But let's go ideal situation.
Like you saved up for 6 months to afford this and didn't pay your car insurance or something. Okay.
Okay.
That sound about right?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, totally.
I remember those days. So let's say you saved up for this. You take her out to a really nice dinner. What are you having? Silence here.
I know. I really the only reason why is because depending on where you're going and the options and stuff. Personally, I would just go to a bar, but but that was many moons ago, James.
It's a wonder you got married.
Well, I wasn't paying my car insurance. I lived across the street from a bar.
True.
That's super convenient.
Okay. Okay. Just to use it as an example.
I would probably let's think about the hypothetical situation.
Yeah, the hypothetical.
I would go out to a nice place. I would get something. I mean, there's not really that many nice places.
No, but you're thinking.
Here,
but when you think of nice food, you're thinking like steak and lobster, right?
Steak, lobster, yeah, that kind of thing.
Lobster.
I know.
You know that
Yes.
lobster used to be prison food.
Yes.
In Maine. And the prisoners rioted at one point because they were eating too much lobster. It wasn't until
if it was the only thing I was eating for years, yeah, I'd riot too.
If it was the only thing I was eating for a single day, I would riot. I am not eating giant ocean-going bug. But anyway.
Oh, screw that, man. I love giant ocean-going bug.
Enjoy the bug. I'm not eating the bug. But it wasn't until the invention.
Part of it's like tearing it open with your hands and with small tools.
So visceral.
I know.
I can do that with a walnut.
It's very cathartic.
Walnuts. And walnuts have omega-3s. They're good for you.
Yeah,
but anyway.
Walnut's not an animal, and so does fish.
Yeah. I like fish.
So.
Lobster's not a fish.
Well,
it's a crustacean.
Sea creature.
Still. Whales aren't fish. They're a sea creature. Seals aren't fish. Walrus ain't fish.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm just saying, none of those are fish. So
well, that's true, but none of them have shells either, so I don't know where you're going.
Fish don't have shells. You are messing up your whole taxonomy here.
Shelled sea creatures are awesome, and I like to eat them.
That's great. Anyway, point being, lobster did not become readily available for people and a food that people actually wanted to eat until the invention of refrigerated railway cars. So they could actually move lobster away from the coast.
Okay, that makes sense.
And so then there was a huge ad campaign to
sell this stuff because we can't get rid of it in prison anymore.
And now everybody wants lobster and thinks it's great.
Yeah.
You were tricked into eating a bug.
That's fine by me.
But anyway, same thing with the cereal. It became huge.
Okay.
Not same thing. But anyway, cereal became huge.
Yep.
And in 1950s, 60s, it became bigger, expanded. And that's when you started having the addition of sugar into the cereals. Now, I could talk for a while about how the sugar industry basically took over the food industry and the FDA.
Right.
And was able to put sugar in everything and make you think that sugar was fine for you, but fat was terrible for you, even though it's actually the complete opposite. Sugar is the thing that's bad for you, and fat, your body should be used to processing it because humans have been eating fat forever.
Hooray, paid scientists.
But yeah, paid scientists are fantastic. But that's when you see the explosion in the 1950s on. You see the explosion of all of these sugary cereals, and more importantly, the cereal mascots.
Yes.
Which aren't we glad that Kellogg's Corn Flakes got what was it? Wasn't it a rooster for a while as their,
they had a rooster.
Mascot? I mean, a little bit on point, but I'm glad it was a rooster instead of. I mean, what else do you call a rooster? It starts with a C. And what was it made for to stop people from masturbating?
I see what I get you.
So I mean, it's a little on point, but at the same time, it's a joke that I would have considered making as the mascot because really it's funny.
I just figured that it was chickens that like to eat corn.
And that's what they want you to think, but
they want you to think chickens like to eat corn.
Just don't pet the rooster. That's what they want you to not do. Don't pet the rooster. Hopefully that will become a soundbite for something or another. Hopefully, here's the thing.
Yeah, I'm saving that.
The beauty hopefully is that one day
I'm gonna get a trigger system for all the crazy crap you say, dude.
Well, wouldn't it be nice for somebody to come up to you just out of the blue, recognize you for being Mike on the podcast, and say to you, "Hey, man, don't pet the rooster." This is a good way to have that conversation with your teenage boys when you're trying to tell them that you don't want them to do the things. I don't think you should tell them not to, but anyway, you do what you want to as the parent, but you can tell them. If you don't want to use any of the words that you're worried about using, words that'll make the kid laugh, or you don't want to learn those words, just tell them, don't pet the rooster.
Here's some corn gruel.
Yes. Have some corn gruel because its nasty flavor will make you not want to pet the rooster. And I think that's the funny part is how ubiquitous breakfast cereal is in American life. And we're the only country that really eats breakfast cereal this way. That's one of those things. I don't know if you ever watched the various YouTube videos about people from other countries trying American snacks.
Yeah.
They really hate root beer, apparently. Every other country absolutely cannot stand root beer.
They're out of their mind.
It's like it tastes like medicine to them. Root beer is like totally.
Is it because they use
thing.
licorice to flavor medicine?
I'm guessing. I don't know, but it's one of those things like people.
That's weird.
People from other countries cannot stand root beer. It's just one of those things, and they always say all of our stuff is way too sweet. Which I've had European chocolates before.
Yeah.
Our chocolate is way sweeter.
It
than
is.
European chocolate.
It is.
But
I have had some of that too. It's super like, but it it hits you different.
It's got a rich flavor to it that's not sugary. It's really nice.
Feels like it coats your entire mouth.
Yeah,
though.
I actually really kind of prefer European chocolate over American chocolate because
pretty good.
It doesn't have that sickly sweet flavor to it. It's more chocolatey, really.
Okay, yeah.
Flavor. But anyway, cereal is one of those things. It's very much an American thing. It's not really eaten in the same way in other countries. It's not seen as a staple breakfast thing.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Everywhere. Cereal is everywhere. More importantly, it's actually one of the, even with all the sugar in it, it's one of the healthier things that you can feed your kids.
Makes sense.
Because it's fortified with so many different vitamins and minerals that are necessary for development. Read the back of a cereal package one of these days and see how many things they put inside that cereal.
Yeah.
Actually really good for you. Other than the sugar content.
Yeah, there's a lot. Well, I'm just curious. Like, when did they start? When did they start inserting sugar into this? Like
around the 1950s and 60s.
Around the 50s and 60s, and again, when they're trying to market it.
That's when the marketing took off even heavier. The post-war years, where it was becoming something that it was targeted at the kids to eat. Dad had his bacon and eggs, and his coffee, and the kids would have their breakfast cereal. And it was either their breakfast cereal or their there's a few items that they tried to do at that time. For anybody that's old enough, if they remember Postum breakfast.
Okay.
It's almost like the Carnation instant breakfast stuff that they have nowadays.
Interesting.
But anyway, and it was caffeinated too. But anyway, that time period, the post-war period, the economic boom, that was considered a quick and easy breakfast for kids and something that kids would like. And you were a great parent for giving them that. That's also when the mascot boom happened.
Wow.
And of course, when you started finding prizes in the cereal boxes.
Well, they were really, I know that.
It was very marketed to kids. In fact, if you look at the cereal aisle at the stores, all the healthy cereals are up near the top. All the sugary cereals are at the bottom. Specifically marketed to kids.
Of course.
And more importantly, the sugary cereals that are maybe mid-level on the shelf or higher, look at the eyes on the mascot. They're looking down. The mascots are supposed to connect with the kids.
Oh,
that's the whole point of it.
Oh, that's too much, man.
And then, of course, in the early 1980s, as a result of the Reagan presidency, these cereals started to have tie-ins to movies and TV shows. And the prizes that were in them were tie-ins to movies and TV shows.
Well, yeah. That's when you started seeing, like...
as said in the previous
McDonald's
podcast,
Happy Meals with the toys in them that were tied to movies and like co-promotion and all that.
That comes from the previous podcast where we talked about Reagan making us love our toys.
Yep.
That has to do with the changing in the FCC allowing for advertising to kids.
Man.
But yeah, that's where you saw. I mean, I have at least 3 lightsaber spoons from breakfast cereals.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh yeah, because Star Wars. What do you expect?
Well, yeah, totally.
But that's where that real change happened.
Man.
So that's where breakfast cereal comes from. Isn't that freaky?
That is a little nuts.
So some crazy doctor made some corn gruel to stop people from masturbating, and now you have cereal. That's
and now you got Frosted Flakes and
it wasn't successful in its original intention,
Mm-mm.
but it made the Kellogg family rich as hell.
Yeah.
So
and they're still like an empire.
Oh yeah. Well, and not just cereal now.
Kellogg and General Mills, I think, are like the only 2.
And no, Kellogg, General Mills, and Post. I believe Post is separate.
I didn't know Post. I thought Post was owned by another company, but I'm not positive. I don't know. I'm
Post
just
may
guessing
be owned
on
by
that.
Nabisco. I don't know.
There's Nabisco. Well, yeah, but Nabisco's like
does
candy and
else.
stuff, right? Yeah.
Nabisco actually owns one of, if not 2 of the major cigarette manufacturers as well.
I did not know that.
Yeah,
wow.
they're big conglomerations.
Whoa, that's a squirrel for another time.
Yeah.
So wait, one last thing.
Yes. Before our break?
Yeah, before our break, one last thing. Where was the idea to put milk into it? I mean, was it because the corn gruel was just too nasty on its own?
I think, the corn gruel had that kind of, it's a gruel, so it's like an oatmeal-like consistency to it.
Right.
It was a semi-liquid consistency.
You said that they dried it, right?
It was dried out and made into the flakes.
Right.
I think the milk was added as, again, a healthy food. Because vegetarian, you can drink milk. Vegan, you can't.
Right.
There's a difference.
Right.
Obviously.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, there is a difference. There's, vegetarians.
Yeah, vegetarian,
there's,
vegan, or
ovo-lacto vegetarians, and then there's vegans, and then there's although vegans, bad news for you, plants can tell when you're eating them. So now you have to survive on air. Sorry, something I saw on the internet. Anyway, little anti-vegan rant. Sorry, I love you. I love you people, but at the same time, eat a steak. We have sharp teeth for a reason. But yeah, I'm sure the milk was just added to make it more palatable. Have you ever tried to eat cornflakes without any milk in them? Now,
I've snacked on them.
There are some cereals that are
like you grab a small handful and just kind of snack on it.
There are some cereals that work for that purpose.
Yeah.
There are some cereals that do not work for that purpose. And actually, in the second half of this, we're going to talk about.
I mean, it's basically granola at that. Well, except for not.
Some are.
Yeah, some are kind of granola at that point, but.
But in the second half of the podcast here, we're actually going to talk about our favorite cereals and how we like to eat our favorite cereals.
Right.
And we can touch on the cereals that I'm a major cereal eater. Like, it's a huge part of my life, which is why I kind of wanted to do this.
Well, you're going to dominate this one for sure.
Which is
fine.
Well, and we'll explain why.
Yeah.
If you want. But
well, let's do that in the second half.
Yes, there are some that are good without milk, some that aren't good without milk. But we'll work.
That makes sense.
We'll get to that.
Boy.
So we're going to take a break now. We'll be back in a few minutes.
All right. See you in a bit.
Hey friends, this is Mike from the Xennial Chronicles reminding you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can also follow us on Twitter and Facebook at Xencron, spelled Xenchron, to keep up to date on all things TXC. And please check out our official website, theXennialChronicles.com, or if that's too much to type, Zencron.com. Thanks again for listening, and now, back to the show.
And we are back. More cereal talk.
Indeed.
Now, cereal, the reason I mentioned before, the reason I wanted to do this was because of how important cereal is to me. And it really is an important thing. I've had this discussion many times about how cereal is just one of those foods. There's always cereal in my house. There always has been since I can remember, huge amounts of cereal. My mother even had, if you remember back in the day, the Tupperware containers that were the cereal, specifically cereal containers to keep your cereal fresh.
We've got a couple of them.
You got a couple of those?
Yeah,
Are
we
they
got
actual
a couple
Tupperware
of those.
ones?
Nice.
Or
Yeah, the real Tupperware ones with the lids that's got a little flap up on
yes,
tops.
I love the little flap.
Those things are great.
I hated when I got to the point where I couldn't fit my hand through the flap anymore. It was like, that's when you knew you were grown up enough that cereal became a different thing. But I think it has to do, there is a socioeconomic thing involved in it. Cereal is one of those things that's a relatively inexpensive thing to be able to buy for your kids.
Right.
And many of them, like I mentioned before, are very good, even without doing them in milk, putting them in milk.
Yeah.
So they're also great snack food,
Totally.
especially some of the sweet and sugary ones.
Absolutely.
Examples like Fruit Loops and Cocoa Puffs. Those are great for, I mean, they're the chemicals and all the flavorings and colorings involved are not necessarily the best for your body, but at the same time, they're really good snack foods. They're better than candy.
Yeah.
I mean, at least they have some, vitamins and minerals fortified into them.
Yeah.
So what we're going to talk about at this point, the second half of things, is kind of go over some of our favorite cereals. Maybe some will be shockers. I know anybody that's ever lived with me will not be shocked by what my favorite cereal is. I can guarantee that. And although I think other people might be, they'll be thinking, oh, hey, this fat guy here, I'm sure he likes like the sugariest cereals possible. Not necessarily true. So you want to start the list, sir?
Yeah. Okay. So I got,
let's have a caveat.
How many of them do you want me to put out there, or do you want me to put out like one and then one? Like how many?
We'll just kind of go one at a time. Start from the bottom of your list. Because what did you get? 7 on your list?
I got about 7 or 8. I just added an 8th one.
That's all right. We can work through that.
Okay, let's see here.
Let's have a little caveat in the sense that Mike is not really a huge milk consumer.
No. I personally never really was into milk in general.
Yeah.
Obviously you'd have milk with cereal, but I don't just like drink milk out of a glass with dinner or even drink milk in general at all unless there's like some kind of chocolate in it. I used to have chocolate milk as a kid all the time.
Yeah.
Right? But
whereas I can literally go through an entire gallon of milk in a single day and not feel bad about it at all.
Yeah, see,
It's
I've just never
been
been into that. Now personally, like I'll do the almond milk thing.
Yeah.
I'll do the almond milk thing with my cereal and all that kind of stuff. And it's nice because I tend to feel a little bit different having almond milk than regular milk.
Yeah.
You know, some people some people are not necessarily compatible with milk, and my
there's
my wife is not. So
there's a full lactose intolerance, and then there's a lactose sensitivity. There's a difference between them. Most people are relatively lactose sensitive. Keep in mind, we are the only animals on the planet that continue to consume milk after infancy.
Yeah, exactly. And so a lot of people are just like, oh, it's unnatural or whatever. I don't care. I just like almond milk. It's fine by me. You know what I mean? I just do it because I like it.
Okay. I'm good with that.
About that.
That's good.
Yeah.
And
Okay. So
I drink milk
being
because
said,
I like it. But anyway.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Teach their own, man. Okay.
Bring me
so
starting it
off.
list.
Okay. So, oh man. Okay. I would say bottom of the list for me would be
the number one, we want to be the big reveal at the end. It's like your favorite one is
like
your
my
big
favorite
reveal.
right out the gate. Okay.
No favorite, not out.
No,
the gate.
no. Yeah, my favorite of the whole list. So now I got to like prioritize the list here. Okay,
can you do that?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, I can. I would say, would say Super Golden Crisp was my least of the favorites that I have.
Of these lists, that's your Super Golden Crisp.
Or some people called it Sugar Crisp back in the day. It's the one with the bear.
Oh, okay.
That baritone bear that used to, that one. That one, just a little, I don't know what they are.
Like puffed rice, right?
Yeah, it's like puffed rice with a little bit of honey.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's
also another version would probably be like the Honey Smacks. Same type of
Honey
thing.
Smacks. Yeah, it's kind of like, yeah. So it was called Super Golden Crisp. I think that was the Kellogg's version.
I think the Honey Smacks were the ones that had the frog as their mascot.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The mascots are actually really important. Sometimes you can remember the cereal better from the mascot than you can from the actual cereal.
I don't know why
itself.
it was like some of these commercials were really entertaining too. My favorite ones were from the Sugar Crisp cereal commercials from the 70s.
I always felt bad.
They're hilarious.
I always felt bad for the damn rabbit. Just give the rabbit the frickin' cereal.
Why did I not think of that one? I
Trix?
don't know why I missed Trix.
Well,
that was another one that I loved.
Okay, I was gonna say I always the fruity cereals.
That being said, Lucky Charms is not on my list. Out of all of the ones you would guess,
no Lucky Charms. Well, are you playing on the leprechaun thing?
I'm playing on the Irish thing.
I get that. Now, Lucky Charms. The problem is you have one good piece of cereal with one nasty piece of cereal mashed together into one cereal.
Yeah,
and the problem is you can't. Actually, one of the things on my list is a mashup of cereals. And you can't take one piece that tastes good and one piece that does not taste good and put them together because it doesn't balance each other out. It just ends up being you eat it dry and only eat the marshmallows and throw the other parts away.
Yeah.
And so now you do know now you can buy just the marshmallows for Lucky Charms on Amazon. You can buy a pre-packaged like vacuum sealed
bag of
just
marshmallows?
The marshmallows. Yes.
That's fantastic.
Oh, it is.
That sounds like the worst idea.
But it
does sound like it's dude.
It sounds like one of those things that, like, if you were the coolest parent. No, if you were the coolest parent ever,
as an adult, that would be it's regret in a bag.
Oh, it is. But as a parent, this is the thing you buy. Listen. This is the thing you buy for when your child has a sleepover. And you know you're going to be up all night anyway, making sure they don't do stupid things.
You might as well just treat them to something.
When they have the sleepover, don't go out and do all the s'mores crap because then that requires work on your part. You actually have to be around the kids.
Cook and do all that. Here, have a friggin'
just
bowl
give them
full
a
of sugar
gigantic
marshmallows.
Punch bowl full of just the marshmallows, and have the
don't even throw milk in it. Just have
the marshmallows
on
and
it.
Just go to town.
That's awesome.
And make sure you have empty buckets around for them to throw up in later. Because guess what? That's the fun of having a sleepover.
What? I mean, maybe if you're in your 20s,
different kind of sleepover. But anyway, I agree with you. Lucky Charms isn't on my list either. So my turn for my list. Yes. Captain Crunch.
Okay.
And I like it more without milk, even though it destroys the roof of your mouth.
Yes.
It's a really, really good, just kind of snacky cereal.
Yes.
You can take a couple pieces at a time, crunch them up. Again, try not to rub them on the roof of your mouth too much because those things are deadly. But the taste is really, really good.
Okay, so I was never really much of a fan of Captain Crunch, but I got a question for you.
Yes.
Does that include the variances of Captain Crunch or basic
I'm
Captain
just
Crunch?
Speaking of Captain Crunch
standard
in specific right now.
Yellow Captain Crunch, right?
Standard Captain Crunch.
Okay.
I actually can even remember the first time I ever had Captain Crunch. That's how much of an impact it had on
Captain
me.
Crunch is good. Captain Crunch is good, but it's not one of my favorites. However, one of my favorites on top of that, based on that, Oops All Berries. When they did the Crunch Berries thing, I thought it was good. When they do just the berries straight, it's like practically like Trix, except all ball shaped, rainbow colored berries with the different
Captain
like flavors.
Crunch was my number 7, but now you're making me have to mention my number 5.
Okay.
My number 5 is a cereal that I like to refer to as, and please, people with any kind of mental health issues, I am not trying to make light of mental health issues.
Oh boy.
I just use this as the description of the cereal because this when I first saw it, it seemed absolutely crazy to me as a cereal. So I call it. Oh,
you mean the word crazy in general? Well,
I call it my bipolar cereal.
Okay.
Because it's such a crazy cereal.
Okay.
It's just insane.
Okay.
And it's one of those that comes in the bag. It's like the Malto Meal bag style cereals.
Dude, those things are way overlooked.
It's mainly what I buy with the exception
you buy
of
that
few.
as a parent. It was a drug humor. I just shared a meme. Did I share it with you?
No, I'm just
okay. I just shared a meme.
It was throw drug humor in with cereal.
I know.
We talked about masturbation with cereal.
Drug humor warning. Yeah, drug humor warning. I shared this meme with a couple of friends. I thought I shared it with you.
You might have.
It was a picture of a dude that had oh my goodness, Toucan Sam. Why can't I think of the freaking cereal for Toucan Sam?
Fruit Loops.
Fruit Loops. It was a picture of a dude with a box of Fruit Loops, and then he was pouring a bag of the Malto-Meal off-brand Fruit Loops. He just said, "I'm at home. I'm at home cutting my product."
Nice, nice. That's funny. I actually did in high school science class. I did taste test comparison to see if people could taste the difference between Fruit Loops, original Fruit Loops, and then the Malto-Meal Fruit Loops.
They totally can't.
And then
I'm sure they can.
Original Coke and store brand Coke.
Whoa.
Because you can't do Pepsi because Pepsi does taste different.
Coke and Pepsi do taste different.
And actually, it was 50-50. There was not conclusive evidence. That's
really?
what people could tell.
Some people are like, yeah, that's fake, that's real,
actually,
and it was a half and
by
half?
By taste alone. Appearance, the real Fruit Loops were shinier than the other ones.
Really?
So they could tell by appearance, but not by taste.
Crazy.
Yeah. Insane.
Dude.
Yeah.
All right.
But anyway, it was a small sample size, so it really doesn't necessarily mean anything, but it was still split down the middle.
Okay.
So it's kind of neat. But anyway, there's this bag of cereal, and it's Captain Crunch berries, so it's Captain Crunch and the Crunch berries with the marshmallows from Lucky Charms in the cereal together.
That's fantastic.
It's crazy. I don't like Captain Crunch berries by themselves because it's too berry flavored, too much of that berry flavor.
But you break it down with the marshmallows and it kind of like neutralizes it out a little bit.
It is amazing.
That sounds awesome.
It's the only really super sugary cereal that I eat regularly because I don't eat the Captain Crunch regularly. It's just occasionally nice to have. But it's so crazy. You wouldn't think it would taste as good as it does, but it does. It's so good. Oh, it's definitely one you want with milk, and you want to make sure you get as many of the various pieces on the spoon at a time as you can.
Yeah.
Because that's a melding of all the flavors in your mouth. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And so we at my house we call it the bipolar cereal, and I have one son who will eat it by the handfuls without any milk.
Does he call it bipolar cereal?
No,
too?
he doesn't
like
call it. He doesn't call it anything. He just grabs it and makes us give it to him.
Okay.
But
I want this.
My wife and I both call it the bipolar cereal because it's just
that
so
sounds
good.
awesome.
It's crazy.
That sounds great.
But it's so good. But sorry, we're talking about the berries. You made me think of that as just it's like the berries, the crunch berries plus more, and you wouldn't expect it to be as amazing. You need to at least try that one. Wow.
Yeah, I'm totally down to try that. I'm gonna find it. Okay, we're moving on to mine, right?
Next onto your list, sir.
All right. So I'm going to take these two and I'm going to bundle them into one. Okay. It's just a texture and the fact that they're both associated with each other.
Okay.
Cocoa Pebbles and Fruity Pebbles. They both taste different.
So you like the pebbly thing, but with the two different flavors.
Come on, yeah. Now I wouldn't mix them together. Don't get me wrong. Mix them together just sounds like a bad idea.
That's bad.
But either one of them separately, they're about equally on the same footing.
Have you ever had Rice Krispie treats made with those individually? Because they're basically Rice Krispies.
I have had the chocolate Rice Krispie treats. That is fantastic. I haven't had them with the Fruity Pebbles, but that makes total sense.
It's interesting. I will say that.
And Rice Krispies to me, like, they're way the hell off my list because they're just don't get me wrong, the consistency is cool, but you have to combine them with something in order to make them
They actually
taste good.
About a year or two ago, they actually had some cinnamon sugar ones out for a while. They were actually really good because
That
they had
sounds
the
kind of
flavor.
cool. Right, because the thing about Rice Krispies is,
No
they're
flavor.
there, they exist, but they're not like...
There's nothing to them.
There's
no
nothing
flavor.
to them. They're just, rice. You have to add sugar.
It's like
you have to add
when you make
marshmallows.
rice when you
have to
make
do
Rice
something.
Krispie treats.
Yeah.
Rice Krispie treats are basically a vehicle to eat marshmallows.
Yes.
That's what they are.
Yep.
With marshmallows with texture instead of just some floof.
Yep, exactly.
Okay.
That's where I go. Okay, what's
so
yours?
my original number 6 that I had bypassed, Golden Grams.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Because basically, I mean, it's graham cracker cookies made into cereal.
Those are good.
And so much better.
Yeah,
and that's
yeah,
another
yeah.
one that's really good to snack on with that. In fact, I remember waking up New Year's Day after I had been at a New Year's Eve party. I was too young to be drinking, so I hadn't been drinking. But it was New Year's Day, and I had to go open the Blockbuster I was working at.
Yeah.
The Blockbuster we used to work at. I was opening New Year's Day. So nothing
So
was...
you were there at noon?
Nothing was open.
That's 10. 10 at New Year's
I think
Day.
10, yeah. Nothing was open except for like grocery stores.
Yeah.
So I went into the grocery store that was right next to the Blockbuster.
Yeah.
And I bought a box of Golden Grams. And I just basically ate out of the box of Golden Grams all day. Great cereal.
Great.
Love the cereal.
Yeah.
That is one that I will say the bagged version does not taste as good as the box version, as the actual name brand version. That's one that definitely if you want the true flavor of it, you get the name brand version. Interestingly, they do have versions of it now where they put in little chocolate pieces, like Cocoa Puff pieces, and marshmallow pieces.
Yeah.
So it's like a s'mores cereal. I don't know if you've ever had it.
Ooh, no.
Yeah,
I
they
haven't,
put that
but
in
that
together
sounds fantastic.
to make like a s'mores cereal.
Hell yeah.
Because
There you go.
s'mores are amazing.
Okay, so speaking of great, and I'm honestly doing this because of the nostalgia and the mascot more than anything.
Oh God.
Frosted Flakes, man. Tony the Tiger was an icon.
Okay, but did you really like the cereal?
I actually did.
Okay.
Frosted Flakes was good as a cereal, but you got sold on that straight from the mascot.
Oh yeah. They're great.
I mean, he was, I think, on it. They are great. Dude, it was crazy because he was like promoting fitness and stuff. He was like a big, which is funny because these things are nowhere near healthy. But that was like one thing that it was big about. Like he was like, it might as well have been, it was like Wheaties. It was marketed like Wheaties for kids, you know?
Yeah, I can see that.
There was a lot of that stuff that was going down at that time.
Well, and if I remember correctly, I'm looking it up now to make sure that I have it right. This dude had like the coolest name ever. The original voice of Tony the Tiger?
The voice of Tony the Tiger, who also, by the way, quick bit of trivia, is the singing, is the vocalist for You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch.
Yes.
Same guy.
Yes. And he is?
I don't know his name.
Thurl Ravenscroft.
Holy crap.
That's
the
his
guy's
dude's
a
name.
Bond villain.
Thurl. Thurl.
Thurl Ravenscroft.
Thurl Ravenscroft, which I had to make sure I was pronouncing
You know
it
what
right.
he sounds
and
like?
had
He
it
sounds like
exactly right.
something. He sounds like a character out of the Potterverse or something.
I could see that. Let me check.
And I'm
here.
not like a Potter, I'm not a Potter head or anything like that, but that comes off like,
Well, and he's from like Nebraska too. You'd think with a name like that, he would be from somewhere like
Transylvania or something.
Yeah, but his voice though, his voice fits that dude's voice. I could understand that dude being named Thurl Ravenscroft. That makes total sense. But yeah, it's just one of those funny notes. But I get that Tony the Tiger was probably one of the better mascots around as far as any of that goes. Next one on my list, right?
Yes.
This is actually my current cereal that I probably eat the most. And interestingly enough, I actually really like it.
Yes.
Kashi Goleen. The original Kashi Goleen.
Really?
Yeah, I'm actually a real big fan of it.
I don't think I've ever had it.
Well, it's interesting. It's like, okay, the puffed rice from your Honey Smacks, your
okay. Yeah, I've
Golden
seen
Crisp
the box, but I've never like actually had
Okay,
it. Please continue.
It has that puffed rice with nothing on it.
Okay.
It's got the little bran logs that you see for like the all brand.
Okay.
With nothing on them.
Okay.
It's got little tiny squares of soy protein.
Cool.
And then little other grain things.
Boy, that's some regular stuff.
It's basically twig and stone cereal in a sense. It needs to spend a little bit of time in the milk to get soft enough to eat for somebody like me who has teeth problems.
Oh, okay.
But it's actually, the flavor is almost non-existent, but it's a really filling cereal. And you don't have that sugary sweet flavor to it. And
it's just something that you could have without having to worry about.
Yeah, it's also extremely healthy.
Content.
It's got a really high protein content from the soy protein.
Nice.
So you feel really full after eating it. It's kind of, if somebody's looking for a healthy diet and healthy lifestyle and is a lover of breakfast cereal and doesn't want to get rid of it, while the flavor isn't what you expect from breakfast cereal, it's actually a really good cereal to have, and it's very healthy for you. But I hate to put it that way, but that's kind of why I like it. It's, of all the other healthy cereals I've tried, it's one of my favorites. In fact, my top 4 are actually considered healthy cereals.
Oh boy, I branched way off from that, but I do have, I thought I had a healthy cereal just as a twist, but, and I'm going to go with my next one. Grape nuts.
That is my number 2.
Oh, really?
That is my number 2.
Grape nuts straight. I used to have it as a kid. I used to need sugar with grape nuts.
Yeah.
Grape nuts straight and milk. Dude.
Now, here's my question. Are you a crunchy grape nutter or are you a soft grape nutter? Do you eat them immediately after the milk, or do you let them sit in the milk for a while and soften up?
I like to... I like to have the experience of the transition. So I'll eat them slow, but I'll eat them immediately. I'll take it, pour it, eat it, and then eat it slow over the course of like 10 minutes.
Okay. See, I have to, again, teeth issues, I have to let mine sit for a while and get a little more
I don't know why, but there's just a part of me that likes it that way.
I get it. It's another good health option.
Yeah.
And instead of sugar, now that you're a little bit older and can get away from the sugar a little bit more and have a more refined palate, I would recommend honey and cinnamon.
Oh, man.
Put a little honey in there and a little bit of cinnamon.
That sounds really good.
Especially
just a small bit of it too.
Especially
maybe a teaspoon at the most.
I'm just remembering that there is a place local where you can get honey that has been harvested from Sheridan.
Oh, cool.
Which
would be really good for me and allergy
it would help
problems.
with allergy problems.
Yeah.
And it's a bit pricey because it's locally harvested.
Yeah.
Honey, but I will hook you up with that place afterwards.
That sounds fantastic.
As a honey source, and
I think there might be a place that actually has that same honey up in town where I'm at.
There may be,
yeah,
because I know the place that provides the honey here or local is providing it to multiple places.
Cool,
but a little bit of honey, a little bit of cinnamon, really really good. So you're getting some more natural sugar that's better for your body than processed sugar.
Nice.
And the cinnamon, what's nice about cinnamon is you can put a ton of cinnamon and stuff. It's just based on what your flavor profile is for liking cinnamon. It does not hurt your body. In fact, has a couple of wellness things for your body.
Cool,
and great flavor on cinnamon.
Hell yeah.
But just a good thought to update your grape nuts for an adult palate.
Sounds awesome.
So
I like it.
Shoot, that was my number 2. I'll go with my number 3 now, I guess. Special K.
I was battling the possibility
so you like the Special K
I like Special K as well.
What's interesting about Special K is most of your flakes are like a corn-based flake.
Yeah.
Special K is actually a rice-based flake.
It's a rice flake.
Yeah, it's a rice-based
they were
flake.
bran.
No,
that's kind of cool.
No, it's a rice base.
Okay.
Yeah, because like your Wheaties are a bran flake, and the problem I find with the bran flake and the corn-based flake is they don't do well with soggy. I think the Special K deals a little bit more with the soggy.
Yeah.
Plus, their crunchy is more airy as opposed to a hard crunchy.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, I get you.
It's like the difference between Cheetos Puffs and Cheetos regular. The Cheetos regular have the hard crunch. The Puffs are like the soft, airy crunch.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
So
okay.
What else you got?
I am going to go way off tangent here.
Oh, please do.
Reese's Peanut Butter Puffs. Those things
are
rich as hell,
This does not surprise me at all.
Dude, I am a sucker for peanut butter cups. The
Yeah.
Reese's Peanut Butter is always awesome. I would get it in the jar. If I didn't already have like enough peanut butter to last me for like 6 months, I'd go get a jar of Reese's peanut butter. That stuff is fantastic.
Peanut butter is so essential too. Such an easy protein source and tastes so freaking good.
It is
You
good.
can put it on almost everything.
So I'm a sucker for peanut butter in general.
Yeah.
But my favorite type of peanut butter, even though I would get Reese's, it just seems to fit the best in like the cups.
Yeah.
This is peanut butter cups in a puff form with milk. Come on.
Yeah.
You know?
How do you argue with that?
Yeah, how do you argue with that? Personally, like my personal preference on peanut butter, straight ahead, basic ass peanut butter. We actually got like a jar of peanuts that we're going to try to actually puree our own peanut butter. It takes a long time to do.
It does.
You got to
plus
crush
have
it. You got to let it sit. You got to. I mean,
plus
it
you
takes
have
a
to worry
long
about
time.
about making sure to stir it all the time to keep the oils all together because the oils will separate out from it.
Yes, they do, and
So-
that's what happens when you get the basic stuff, and it sucks to try to re-stir
It
peanut
does.
butter after you leave it alone for a
I
while.
actually have one that might be a suggestion for you. No, the one that I've tried that has more of a natural peanut flavor and a little bit less sugar.
Oh, okay.
But we'll discuss that one after because again I don't want to necessarily talk about products that I'm not getting paid to endorse.
Okay.
But,
although we're good, dude,
well,
this
we
is a
are,
full
yeah.
list of breakfast cereals that we're working
Fine,
with.
then.
I don't think I have that issue.
It's actually Walmart store brand and it's a natural style peanut butter. It
Nice.
doesn't have
the Great Value stuff.
yeah, it doesn't. It's not like no sugar, but it has less sugar and a little higher protein count.
Nice.
But it's supposed to be. It's more of a natural flavor, so you got less of the sugar flavor, more of the peanut flavor. Really, really good. And I eat peanut butter like by the spoonful.
There's a personal one that we had. I always I look at the jar and I always think like it looks like a circus tent type thing. I'll show you. We have the jar
Yeah.
sitting in the. But I can't remember what the name of it is. But I remember that it's got the ingredients
Yeah,
listed on the back.
yeah.
It literally just says ingredients,
Peanuts. Nice.
and that's it. No
Let's see
sugar,
that
no
one.
corn syrup, no blah blah blah, whatever. It's just straight up peanut.
Okay, since we're talking about the peanut butter thing, Skippy, Jif, Peter Pan. You have a preference with those? Because Skippy and Jif are like the two main brands.
I would go with Jif.
Jif.
I dig Jif.
I personally believe Jif makes the better.
I am impartial
cookies.
overall, but Jif probably.
Now, if you're making peanut butter cookies, I always get Jif for peanut butter cookies because I think the flavor is so much better.
Oh yeah, you got a whole different.
Skippy's more of the sweet one.
Yeah.
And then Peter Pan has up until I found this other new one. Peter Pan had more of the nutty flavor.
Okay.
I mean, now Death, the icon of Death prefers, I believe, Laura Scudder's, but
Wait, what?
movie reference, Meet Joe
okay.
Black.
Oh, okay. I'm just gonna have to. I'll have to see that again.
Yeah, basically Brad Pitt's character goes around eating peanut butter for half the movie. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, hey, if you're going to have one thing to eat while you're vacationing on Earth for a little while, trying to hook up with TS's girlfriend,
Yeah.
then shoot, why not have some peanut butter?
Yeah.
A couple of movie references in there. Points to anybody who gets them.
Okay. So how many do you have left?
I have one left, my
Okay.
favorite cereal.
I'm gonna go through my last ones. I'm gonna leave your
Go.
favorite to go. Okay. So my next one I'm gonna go with is Corn Pops.
Those are good. The
Those
little
are
yellow
killer.
ones. Those are
yeah, little yellow ones.
good. That's another one's really good to eat by itself without any milk. It's
Yeah,
a nice
that's
one.
one of the ones you could just pop in a handful and start
Another
snacking
one,
on it.
honeycomb.
Oh my
You
goodness! I
forgot
can't
about
believe
that.
I missed honeycomb.
Honeycombs are amazing as like
Yes.
a little snack thing. In fact, that's one of those that I would almost never eat with milk. I would just snack on honeycomb.
Dude, honeycomb is awesome.
They are.
Oh, why did I miss that one? Okay. And I have some of this one right now in the pantry. Life cereal.
That's hilarious.
I actually tend to like Life cereal. There's something about it.
Well, of course you do, Mikey.
Shut up.
You did you not even think of that?
Not at all.
Oh my god, that's the first you say that and I'm like, "Oh my god, Mikey loves life." Oh my god, Mikey loves life. You're a commercial, dude. Oh, wow.
Dude, Life cereal's awesome.
I'm so excited about this. It's amazing. I've called people Mikeys before, specifically because, well, we're not going to eat it. Mikey will eat it. And it's like somebody who I know
I'll give
will eat
anything
just
a
about
shot.
anything.
Yeah, I'll give anything a shot too. This is funny.
So many comments. Anyway,
Shut up, James.
But that's hilarious that you would have Life cereal. That
Yeah.
gives me a nice chuckle. I get that. I just remember I forgot because I'm thinking of Life and the kind of the makeup of Life
Yeah.
cereal made me think of Chex.
Oh, Chex is good too.
Chex is good, but which one though? Rice,
Honestly-
wheat, or corn?
corn for me.
Yes,
Corn
yes.
Chex for me as a breakfast cereal. However, dude, Chex Mix is my favorite version of Chex.
I get that.
Handful of Chex Mix, man.
I like some Crispix too, which is basically rice Chex, or it's basically rice Chex and corn Chex made together into something that's instead of being square, it's six-sided. What's six-sided? Hexagon.
Hexagonal?
Yeah,
Yep.
because one side of it is corn, one side of it is wheat, or one side is corn, one side of it's rice.
Wow.
Of a
Boy, that's
Crispix.
got to take a lot of work to get that.
Not really.
Going.
I'm sure they have a machine to do it really quick.
Huh. Cool.
But Crispix are nummy.
Okay, so this is my top.
Top one.
It's my
Give me your
personal top. Frosted mini wheats.
Interesting.
Many different flavors too, and it doesn't matter which one.
Have you seen the newer ones that are the s'more flavors and the chocolate?
No.
Yes, there's a s'more flavored one. There's like a berry one, and there's a cinnamon roll
Dude,
one.
cinnamon frosted's awesome. Regular frosted's awesome. Strawberry frosted's awesome. And now I have to try that s'mores one.
Yeah, there's the s'mores one, and now you said the cinnamon. Is it the cinnamon roll that you've seen, or just cinnamon?
No, just cinnamon top.
No, there's 3 of them that came out recently. It was a cinnamon roll one, it was a s'mores one, and then it was a very berry one.
You're kidding me.
No, and they are all really good.
That sounds like,
They're
dude.
amazing.
Oh, so much variety.
They are so tasty.
Yeah, all of the, I haven't found one I don't like yet.
The cinnamon roll is my favorite because I'm a big cinnamon junkie.
There's a s'mores one?
There's a s'mores one, bro.
Son of a gun.
Ooh,
Yes.
tangent, but it's a food thing, so I am going to mention it. The other night, my wife actually made for us for dinner ravioli lasagna. Where you make lasagna.
Dude,
just
the
break?
dead silence just because I'm broke.
So you take like,
My brain has been broken.
you take like a jar or a can or whatever of like spaghetti sauce, right? Of whatever tomato sauce you would use for spaghetti.
Oh
or
man,
lasagna.
this sounds like such a good, like cheap, just.
Oh yeah,
It sounds like
frozen
okay.
ravioli.
Honestly, it sounds like stoner dinner.
It
man.
is.
It
It is,
totally
in many
sounds
ways.
like stoner dinner, and I'm all about it.
So you take frozen ravioli.
Okay.
Right. You basically layer sauce, frozen ravioli, like put them down individually,
Like frozen raviolis themselves.
Yeah, like layer them down.
Okay.
Don't just pour them in. You have to literally layer it on.
Okay.
Cheese,
Okay.
sauce, frozen ravioli, cheese, sauce, frozen ravioli, cheese. Like layer it. And then you bake it.
There's got to be a way to separate layers. That first off, that sounds amazing.
It is.
I want to try it. That sounds fantastic. However,
Hold on. We came up with the idea that it needed to be changed up just slightly because it only had us use beef ravioli. We decided bottom layer beef ravioli. Hold on. Bottom layer beef ravioli. Middle layer cheese ravioli. Top layer beef ravioli. To add more of a cheese element into it. That was
like
that.
that.
was the
I like
discussion
that a
that happened
lot.
at the house. But I can tell you,
part of me just wants to ghetto the hell out of it and throw Chef Boyardee in there somewhere.
no, because you can't get the right layering with the ravioli without getting really messy.
Okay.
Without getting really messy.
Okay, yeah, I
But
figured there would be
honestly-
like if you separate it and just did the Chef Boyardee
No.
and then another layer of like some kind of pasta or
Nah,
something.
it's not gonna work out the same
Nah,
way.
but I
You're
get
not
you.
gonna
I get you. Okay.
But it's basically using the ravioli in place of both the meat and the lasagna noodles.
That sounds awesome.
It was amazing. But then
Oh,
it
my
made
goodness.
me think of
Whenever my wife is listening to this, because I may forget to tell her,
I'll
or
tell her.
we may forget later.
tell her.
I was going to say, whenever my wife is listening to this, we have to try that. It sounds terrible, but it sounds awesome.
it's really, really good.
We got to try it once.
Now, it made me think of a dessert.
Okay.
I'm gonna make a s'mores lasagna.
You should do it with cereal.
layer of graham cracker, layer of marshmallow fluff, chocolate bars on it, and just layer it all up, put it in the oven and bake it up.
S'moresanya.
Yes.
Yes.
Kind of a let's
We
see what we can do.
completely squirreled away from cereal.
Well, no.
Is there
'cause-
anything that
no,
we can do
'cause
with
s'mores.
cereal?
S'mores is the connection.
Oh, okay.
S'mores. Well, heck, if you want to make your s'mores lasagna, use golden grams. That would be a way to make
There
your
we
s'mores
go.
lasagna.
S'moresanya with golden grams.
Hell yes,
Yep.
it would be
You
fantastic.
bake. Oh man, bake it.
By the way,
Would you bake it and then like chill it and serve it cold?
No, I'd serve it hot.
You serve it hot?
You gotta have everything melty.
Okay.
That's amazing.
Okay.
Let it cool for 5 to 7 minutes or so, so
Yeah.
it's not completely melty.
So it's not like
in
gonna
pieces, but still.
completely light your mouth on fire.
Yeah, you don't want to have
that
like the hot
chocolate.
chocolate. in.
Can hold heat pretty well.
That's why I'm saying give it a little bit of time to cool down.
Yeah.
As long as you would cool a regular lasagna down or like enchiladas down or something,
Mm.
anything that would have like cheese is another one of those things that holds the heat in.
Oh,
real well.
yeah.
Melty cheese will just scald the heck out of your mouth.
Yep.
It's like however long you take before you eat a pizza or again lasagna or enchiladas, all
Mm-hmm.
those things that have that liquid fire of like cheesiness.
Yep.
I would do the same thing with this idea for a s'mores lasagna.
Yeah, dude. That's all right.
And by the way, I have a lasagna pan that is literally divided into 3 separate lasagna things that are just the size, that are actually the width of a lasagna noodle. So you can make 3 different types of lasagna at a time in each pan.
I have to, dude. Where did you get
I
that?
have 2 of those pans.
Did you Amazon those or something?
I have no idea. I'd have to ask the wife where we got them from. But
Dude,
yeah, they are so amazing.
Please find out and tell me.
I will. But
That
anyway,
sounds awesome.
We can come back to cereal with my favorite cereal.
Yes.
You have any guesses?
I did not look at your list, and I'm not looking at the list right now.
Okay.
So,
From me telling you it's a healthy cereal and me giving the list of all the other cereals. Plus, you did live with me for a very short period of time.
oh my goodness. Oh man, I have to I
I
can't
know.
remember eating habits from almost 20 years ago, James.
Tacos. We ate a lot of tacos back then.
Yeah, but everybody loves tacos.
It was
I don't know
basically
anybody doesn't like tacos.
basically the only thing we ate homemade back then was tacos.
Is it something that I mentioned earlier?
No, it's not one that you
Because
mentioned.
you would have said something.
Yeah.
Man, you said so. It's got to be on the healthier side,
Yeah.
dude. I'm drawing a blank.
Cheerios. Simple, basic yellow box Cheerios.
Regular stuff, not the honey nut,
No, not honey nut. Not
honey
apple
nut's awesome.
cinnamon.
not apple cinnamon,
Not-
not like the multicolored ones.
No, not the multicolored ones.
Multigrain
Not-
Cheerios.
Not
that's
the
what it was.
new like varieties that have all kinds of different
Just
flavors,
straight
like
the
pumpkin
hell
and
up.
chocolate and all the. There's a peanut butter and chocolate Cheerios right now. Not even joking with you.
I am willing to try that.
But regular yellow box Cheerios.
That's awesome,
I can eat a whole box by myself, no milk, just eat the stuff.
dude.
Don't know why. Actually, I do know why. It was like the one staple food that I always had growing up in my little Tupperware container of cereal.
yeah.
I always had Cheerios because it
So
was
it's
one of
kind
the
of like it's
healthier
just kind of like
things.
a history, a nostalgia kind of thing, right?
It's kind of comfort food for me.
I get you.
Just let me eat some Cheerios and
I could still have, you know what? Honestly,
Do it.
like in the middle of all this stuff with all the sugar and everything, I still would be able to just chill out with a bowl of Cheerios.
yeah.
That
Cheerios
sounds good.
they're just
that sounds
amazing.
good right now.
I know. They said, well, to me, it sounds good all the time.
Y'all making me hungry, bro.
One final note.
Yes.
My favorite cereal usage outside of cereal, because cereal, the beautiful thing is you can just eat cereal.
Yeah.
You can also use
can
it for other
with
purposes.
stuff, yeah.
I have 2 favorite things to do with cereal.
Spackling.
No. Interestingly enough, I like using cornflakes as a coating for chicken. Faux fried chicken.
Oh, dude.
You coat your chicken in cornflakes and bake it in the oven.
I've had that before. That's fantastic.
It is fantastic. The only thing that's better is to use Cool Ranch Doritos as your coating for your chicken and bake it in the oven. Am I blowing your brain?
Yeah, you just blew my brain, bro.
You can use nacho cheese too, but I prefer the Cool Ranch Doritos. The other one, my actual favorite,
They make taco shells out of it now, so.
they do. My actual favorite though is a recipe that my wife had gotten a cooking with cereal book at one point or another,
Cool.
and this recipe is for homemade peanut butter kicks. Now you can buy peanut butter kicks now in the store.
Oh.
But
what
this
was
one
it?
you actually have to melt the peanut butter, a couple of different other items together, and then you mix the kicks into it, almost like you do the mixing of Rice Krispies in to make Rice Krispie treats.
Yeah.
But this doesn't stick and mold together. It just coats the kicks with this peanut butter mixture,
Yeah.
and you get that little airy crunch of the kicks because they don't get soggy in any way, shape, or form because of there's not enough moisture involved in it. But it gets you this awesome peanut buttery flavor wrapped around these kicks. It is so good.
You know what? There's another one that I've done that I think some of my family has done before, and it's using Chex.
Other than the Chex Mix, obviously.
Other than the regular Chex Mix, we're talking like you take Chex, like you take like I think it's corn Chex specifically, and chocolate powder, and I think chocolate powder, Chex, some powdered sugar. I think
You talking about the Muddy Buddies?
the Muddy Buddies.
Yes, that's pretty good, too.
Like homemade Muddy Buddies.
Yes, that's pretty good too.
Yeah,
I'll
we
give you
bring.
that.
I see
That's one of those
homemade
Christmas
Muddy Buddies
things.
at Christmas, family reunions, that kind of stuff, dude.
See the importance of cereal?
It's everywhere, man.
Aren't we glad that John Harvey Kellogg wanted people to stop masturbating? Because if he didn't, we wouldn't have this wonderful food that has become such a staple.
Just so much, man,
Thank you, John Harvey. Thank you for your efforts.
for being
To-
a whack job.
Exactly. Points for you, sir. Points for you. I was trying to come up with something funny.
I'll be here all
did
week.
it. You did it. All right. I think that's going to be it for us for today. Please comment on Facebook or the YouTube
Yeah,
as to your favorite cereals.
yeah, absolutely. We'd love to hear it.
And where can we find us, Mike?
All right. Well, let's see. We are on Facebook. We are on YouTube. We are on Twitter. We are on
Spotify?
Our website. We're on Spotify. We're on TuneIn. We're on Google Play. We're almost everywhere, man.
As many places as we can.
Yes, please listen to us and comment where you can comment.
Like us, follow us, tweet at us, all that kind of stuff. On Twitter and Facebook, we are found at Xencron, spelled Xenchron. You can go to Xencron.com as well, or if you really like typing, you can go to thexennialchronicles.com where you can listen to us. You also can listen to us, like I said, on Spotify, on TuneIn, on Google Play. So please have a listen, and And when you comment on Facebook, we will comment back. We will respond back to you.
Yes, and
we love talking to you if you want to talk to us.
Yeah, follow us on Facebook or on Twitter to see all the memes.
Yes, I will get back to the meme game. The memes will be
yes, our
forthcoming.
meme game was once strong, and it must be stronger.
I will make it strong again.
Yes.
All right, that's it for today, people.
Thanks a lot.
Talk to you later.
Thank you for tuning in, friends. The journey continues next week.